Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up. We have two guests here. Got some pictures. We're going to add some names for the big contest. There are all kinds of things going on today. I'm glad you're with us. Get that cup of coffee, sit back and relax. I know some of y'all getting ready to go to work. Just sit down and relax a minute and watch America's only daily outdoor TV show. We're glad to be here. Weather today brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. High today is going to make 60 and low tonight 45. Really, and it's going to be sunny. It's going to be really a pretty day. This is wintertime. This is January weather. This is seasonal. This is what we like to have right here. So 45 to 60. Ideal. So enjoy it while you can, because before you know it, it's going to be springtime. So now take a look at our river readings. This is a big topic last couple of days. The Apalachicola Bluntstown this morning is reading a 22.9. Now here's what's going on. It's dropping out, and I've talked to all my relatives up and down the river, and everybody's saying the same thing. What happened, everybody's saying this is an unusual flood this year. It is. They come back once every 10, 15 years, but this year when it flooded, it flooded some places that hadn't been flooded, down the Howard Creek, up the river. Choctahatchee had the same thing. What happened on the Apalachicola River, the Chipola River feeds into it, and the Bluntstown reading does not take into account the Chipola River that flows into it. So the Chipola is at record highs. All you folks up there, up above Mariana and all, it's amazing some of the pictures I've seen. So keep that in mind, but it is receding. And I got a lot of comments on that video yesterday, really fascinating at the force of nature. Just something, man thinks we can control everything. We can't control some things. Nature for one, and that's a fascinating situation. So glad you enjoyed it. If you didn't see it, check it out on YouTube, or tell some of your friends to watch that on YouTube, okay? Choctahatchee at Caraville, take a look at it. It's reading a 14.6, and it's in good shape there. It's a steady, slow drop, but I want to say good shape. It's not getting any higher, okay? Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn, and it is the tide chart low this morning at 527, looking on the screen there. High tonight at 708. So today is a good tide, but going into the weekend, looking on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, good strong tides if you plan on fishing. Marine forecast, east-northeast coming in about 9, so we've got a little bit of a shift in the wind. Got some sun coming out today, so some really good situation. If you're off of work today, be a good time to get out in the woods or on the water. All right, we'll take a break and be back with our guest. All right, welcome back, and welcome to our guest, Captain Rick Corley, a familiar face, and Dr. Sunseri, Southeast dermatologist Southeast. Good to see y'all.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Good to have you back on. Rick?
Happy New Year.
Well, tell me about y'all's Christmas vacation. How was it? I know we were off. I think you and I got off. Rick, you had to work?
Yeah, I had 3 boats and a boat fire to work during the holidays.
Didn't you tell them it was holidays, or they couldn't wait?
No. Boat fires are that way sometimes. And no, we had a boat catch fire over in Fort Walton and burn, and nobody got hurt. That's the good part, but it did total out the boat.
Yeah. We were talking about a good case. We don't have time to get into it today, but next time you're on, we'll talk about a situation with the boat going down on the rock.
Yep.
And the insurance is fascinating at the insurance companies, and it's some great stories here, and Rick will get to tell us. But anyway, I got to visit with you guys a month or two ago.
Yes, sir.
And you cleared me, but I was so impressed with his office staff, and I tell you what, so many times I was thinking driving in this morning, so many times we'll go to doctors and all, and they're good people and they mean well and all, but I remember my dad talking about that. You sort of sit down a minute, then it's over with,
Yeah,
yeah. And because y'all are so busy, but you really spent time talking to me and getting the history and all that. So that was a good visit.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that feedback. In today's changing landscape of medicine, it can be difficult to sit down and spend a lot of time with patients. We have a lot more time crunches, just like anything else changing these days. We got less time, and we're expected to do more in less time. But one of my favorite things about being a doctor, and particularly with dermatology, is I get a chance to sit down and chat with everybody. And that's the fun of my job. And if I can't do that, well, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Are you learning? And how long have you been here? We about a year or going on a year?
Almost. We're coming up on the 6-month mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you got to meet some interesting folks?
Lots of interested folks.
You met me?
He puts interest into
Yeah,
a whole new level, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah, I have one of the main reasons I wanted to come practice in the Panhandle was because of the patients that I met when I first started in Tallahassee, and now since I've been over here in Panama City and Bay County. And I wouldn't trade the patients I have in Bay County for any place else in the country. I honestly feel privileged to take care of the folks I do. They're the only folks I can take off a piece of their ear and they come and thank me for it. So, I'm teasing about that, but really the best patients around, I think, and I'm blessed to be here and be practicing here.
And I told him if he keeps cutting on me, there won't be nothing left in 30 years.
A little piece at a time.
Well, we got to quit whittling on Rex here.
No, you don't either. It's got to be here.
The business, I've asked him before we came on the air, y'all been doing really good business. Have we got a lot of folks coming in now?
We have. You know, we don't do a lot of advertising. We kind of depend on word of mouth. And from our standpoint, we've been able to pick up business fairly quickly just by word of mouth and folks having good experience when they come to see us. And again, I feel blessed, but we're picking up steam to the point where we need to start looking for another dermatologist because we're getting that busy. So
Well, that's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem, and I am certainly not complaining about it.
Well, you know, again, when you were on last time, we talked about this area we live in here in the Panhandle. We're so exposed to the elements.
Yes,
and,
sir.
and a lot of times and I was going to ask you about this, I'll go ahead and hit it now. If in the wintertime, and we think we're okay in the wintertime, so
Right.
we can still get some damage in the wintertime.
Absolutely. Wintertime is one of those times where you feel, you don't feel as hot, you don't feel as much heat, and so you feel like you can still get that sun exposure, but those UV rays are still out there, despite the fact that you're not getting overheated and getting super hot. You can still get burns, and so we still encourage, especially if you're going to be out for any duration of time, that you still apply sunscreen. If you're going to be out during those peak hours, we still recommend reapplying sunscreen every 2 hours, which is really tough to do. But I encourage folks to just cover the parts that you want to keep. So your nose and your ear especially, cover those parts, if not with a buff, with some sunscreen. And even during those winter hours, the sun can be, the UV index can be brutal.
And today's going to be a great example of it. It's going to be sunny all day, but like you say, in wintertime, we just flat out don't think about it.
That's
I'm
right.
bad about
No,
that.
you don't
right.
feel about it.
You know, that sun's a little bit of an angle, doesn't seem as hot. And
That's right.
And,
That's right.
and before you know it, you know, you've been there long enough.
Yes, sir.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Sitting here with our guests. Before we get back with them, you know, you've seen a lot of names. I'm not going to add all of them this morning. I'm going to add a few of these names real quick, and then we've got a couple of pictures to show you. Adam Taylor, Panama City Beach. You're okay. Pickle jar. Now, a lot of y'all folks have sent them in. And I'm not going to draw names till I get them all in. Margaret Taylor, Panama City Beach. Greg Taylor, one of the founder of Counts Real Estate. Greg said, now Greg won 2 or 3 years ago, but he didn't win last year, so he's upset. So we're going to try to win. Mark Jones, you're in it. Wanda Jones, Graham Jones, loyal viewer. Graham, thank you for that real nice email you sent. Billy Joe Newsom, Lynn Richards, folks up there in Southport, our neighbors. Linda Dean, Ebro, Southport, Ebro, and 1 or 2 more. Leonard Dean, Ebro, and Bill Barfield, Panama City. Kenny Bostick, Lynn Haven. I'm going to put you over here, Kenny. You want enough. I'm going to put you over here. That's enough. And 1 or 2 more. Leonard Dean, Ebro. That's enough. And let's do Eric Weberly. Good to see you. That's some good viewers right there. That's enough. I'll add you other folks tomorrow, but I just want to get started on today. Let's look real quick at some pictures. And we'll do our drawing now Friday. Remember, every Friday we'll give away a $20 gift certificate to Tarpon Rock Seafood and a big old red snapper. Now, that's not bad, is it?
No.
So I have 2 winners every week, plus during the week, during the year, we'll give away. We'll have some sweepstakes, give away some rod and reels, fishing tackle, shirts and caps, and just all kinds of stuff. Last year we gave over $5,000 worth of prizes. That ain't bad for a little rinky-dink show like this, is it?
I'm going to put my name in.
Okay, we'll put your name. You got to catch your fish now.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Let's
More
have a couple
fun
of
that
quick
way.
pictures right here. This is one of the old, every now and then we like to throw out one of our heritage pictures. I don't know if you recognize this. Rick, tell them about this picture. You recognize it right away.
Yeah, that's the old Camp Helen Pier out at what is now called Lake Powell. It used to be called Phillips Inlet. And that was Avondale Mills' recreational area for their employees. They'd come down here and stay out there.
They've dated this back to the late 20s or early 30s, and notice at the end of the dock, you notice another level. And what was fascinating is because of that you could put a boat up there.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's unusual to have a Gulf dock built.
Well, they
two
had
levels.
a 76-foot yacht that they used to take people fishing, and what they'd do if it was calm enough, instead of them having to come to the Grand Lagoon to get on the boat, they'd bring the boat out there and pull in and let the people get on right there
Right.
and take them fishing, and then bring them back to the camp.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Howard Farrah, for posting that. All right, let's go. Folks like to hunt at Tyndall, and this is why you get to hunt at Tyndall. A lot of times people say, "No, no, any bucks out there over sand." That's a nice buck,
Oh,
folks.
yes, there is.
One of my viewers, that's Chris Walding, and that is a 10-point buck with a nice shotgun, a nice rack there. Good job, Chris Walding. Okay, how about y'all recognize this young man, Tim Sutherland. Tim is quite the outdoorsman. Now, this is not local. Tim's a local guy, but he and his family for years have gone up there to Alabama and hunt their family lease. They've hunted it for many years. Now here, you're not going to believe this. This is another Tyndall buck. These are two of my former students here, Zach Primavera and Ryan, and they were walking to the tree stand when this buck jumped out. Actually walking to the tree stand, and that was fascinating. That is another big buck for Tyndall. Okay, and one more picture. Let's go back to fishing. Remember we had this big tournament statewide. The CCA, Coastal Conservation Association of America, had this big tournament, and if you look on it, this is a tagged redfish. Folks, if you'd caught this caught in West Bay now, Sunday afternoon. If you'd caught this during a tournament, you'd won a $42,000 flats boat. If you'd been the first one to catch it statewide. They tagged some redfish throughout the coast. The contest is over now. In fact, we had a local guy catch one that was tagged in West Bay. He caught it, but he had not entered the tournament.
Oh,
and he lost that much money. He was sick about it. It was a redfish tournament, Emerald Coast Redfish Tournament, which, by the way, we're going to talk about coming up real soon, probably tomorrow. So that's enough pictures. We're going to, like I say, add the names tomorrow, and it's fascinating at all the things come in. We're behind on pictures, and we're behind on adding the names, but we'll get caught up. So let's go ahead. I'm so glad to we'd like to get experts in when we can. Rick Corder knows more about boats than anybody in this part of the country, and anybody will tell you that. And Rick talked about winterizing boats and all, and what right now, this is January, what should folks be doing with the boats?
Well, we're in an area here that it's not as important as it would be up north. Now, up north, of course, they'll take them out, they'll antifreeze certain areas in the boat. They will shrink wrap them a lot of times and put them in heated barns and things of that nature, because if you've got any moisture in the laminates of a fiberglass boat and it freezes, you can mess that hull up. Mm-hmm. And so it becomes paramount up there. Here, most of the time, if you've got an engine room heater, you can turn it on to keep the engine room warm enough that it doesn't freeze. Mm-hmm. You're okay, and in the other parts of the boat as well. And our water temperature very rarely gets much below about 45, so it's not going to freeze inside the boat. It gets cold, but not that bad. So we don't have as many problems here. That's the reason we have basically a year-round boat season. It slows down in the winter because it's not as much fun to go out there if the wind's blowing. It kind of cuts you in half. But there's not as many things to worry about freezing and so on. If you've got something that might be exposed, you want to get rid of the water in it if you can. As far as outboards, you want to make sure your foot's down so you don't trap water in there and it freeze with it up, tilt it up, tilt it down.
There. That's important.
Get it all out of the engine there. If it is going to go way below freezing, which we do sometimes have, then put a cover over it, just lay a tarp over it. That'll usually protect it. But a lot of times I tell people, if nothing else, take a 100-watt bulb and extension cord and put it in the engine room. That'll that'll keep it enough just to knock the edge off of that freezing temperature.
And that's another good argument too for the marinas, these covered marinas that we have now. Some of these new ones coming up, we have some, really, really nice ones here.
Yep.
And ironically now, the sun is a problem in both of our guests in your location, okay? Because of course your job, and then we're talking about the sun just eating up the fiberglass and all on these.
Oh yeah, UV is. You got two enemies on a boat here: the salt air and salt water, and then the UV rays trying to eat up anything that's fiberglass or the vinyl and cloth. It's just like on sailboats. What breaks down is the nylon threads that they sew the sails with. And when you look at a sailboat, that's one of the things you look for is broken threads, especially in stress points, because that's when the sail will rip or tear as that starts breaking down.
I was by one of our sponsors yesterday, BJ Marine. I would drop in and talk to him every now and then. We talked about the importance, and most people, we all know to do this, but most of us don't do it, is run the engine in the winter.
Yes.
Those are outboard engines, and so many of them sit up. And of course, it's good for their business because they have to fix them. But that could be prevented if you just run that engine.
Yeah, you need to run an outboard about every 10 days to 2 weeks. If you'll go out there and crank it with a muff, and then you can disconnect your fuel line and just let it run until it runs out of fuel. You've run it long enough, and when you go to use it, it'll work. If you don't, what happens is it gets a shellac. Because a lot of, especially on 2 strokes, you get a shellac, it'll build up on the jets, and it won't let the fuel go in the right mixture, and it won't run, it won't crank. So then they got to take it over to the mechanic. He goes in, he cleans that off, cranks the engine, and it runs again. Well, if you'll run it every 10 days, 2 weeks, it won't do that.
That's all you got to do. All right, we're going to take our final break. We're back with Captain Rick and Dr. Jeremy Sunseri in just a second. All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us this morning. Hope you're planning on having a great day at work or at retired or whatever you do. Just be positive and enjoy the great outdoors we have in Florida Panhandle and fellowship with you folks and all. And just we're lucky to be here and just count the days, one of the joys of life. Okay, let's take a look at our fishing game forecast brought to us by Mark Coward of Counts Real Estate. Our 2 times, 8:53 to 10:53 this morning. A good time to go. It's going to be beautiful. And tonight, 9:38 to 9:18 to 11:18. Those 2 2-hour blocks. And again, the wind today be coming toward north-northeast. Good tides, and it's going to be a good time. It'll be a great day to be in the woods. So try to get out and enjoy it. Now we were talking, about the sun being an enemy and all. Also, it can be, of course, solar power and everything else. It can be a great asset. But it's been, as long as we have civilization, we've had the sun there. But speaking of early civilization, you come from Utah.
Yes, sir.
So tell us about that area real quick. How did you like Utah?
I enjoyed Utah. Utah's one of the most beautiful outdoors in terms of there's a little bit of everything in the state of Utah. If you go down south, it's red rock and not a lot of snow. If you go up north, there's the large mountains, great hunting, elk hunting, mule deer, not so many whitetail, but there's a lot of mule deer there. And that's predominantly what I've hunted. A lot of good hunting, a lot of good fishing. There's a lot of good lakes. One of my favorite fishing spots is in Ogden, Utah, just above Ogden, Utah. Got some great tiger muskies, and I've done a lot of bass fishing in those areas. But some good outdoors. You don't get the year round like you do here, although there is ice fishing.
Yeah.
But it's not quite the same to sit in a little hut and freeze.
Well, no.
As it is to do it here.
It's just great. We just have a common bond as outdoorsmen when we go to a doctor or a banker or whatever, and then sit down and talk about the outdoors. That's always neat to have. Now, tell us again the location of Dermatology Southeast.
Yeah, so we're at 425
West
19th Street. We're over on 19th Street. I share a building with Marty Matthews, and who's been a great building mate for us. And we've been over there for about 6 months now.
Well, good deal. And how often, I know a lot of viewers out there get checkups and all, but we're talking about how often should someone come? You gave 2 cases here. How often do we need a checkup?
Yeah, you guys are both good examples. Captain Rick here is very high risk. He's had some serious skin cancer, not only melanoma, but other skin cancers. And so we like to keep a close eye on Captain Rick. We see him about once every 3 or 4 months. Winston here, on the other hand, he's been pretty good about his sun protection, and apparently. And he's a little bit less risk in terms of he's not had a lot of skin cancer. I don't think you've had any, but we like to keep an eye on him about once a year. So it ranges based on your risk. But the important thing, and the one thing I want to point out, is that skin cancer is one of those things that if detected early, you can prevent the worst part of melanoma. You don't have chemotherapy or radiation if you cut it out early. So finding it early, which means looking at your skin or having a dermatologist, your local dermatologist, look at your skin, is imperative because if you catch it early, you can cure it.
Yeah.
Got news for you. You do not want to wait till you have to go through that. Radiation therapy was tough and all of that, and I don't recommend it for an afternoon's entertainment.
Yeah. But Rick is a great story of just being, just doing it, finding out I had it, then taking care of it, getting it done, and then, getting treatment. And that you've been a great testimony for that, Rick. You really
Had good doctors. I did. I had good doctors, and the good Lord decided to help them too. So I'm still here. I don't know what He wants me to do, but I hope I'm doing it.
Well, somebody's got to look at these boats. I mean, Jeremy and I can't go out there and look at them. Somebody got
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, we got another minute or two and all, and like I said, spring's going to be right around the corner. I know you want to do some outdoor stuff. You've been trying to catch some speckled trout, or?
I've been near my home trying to catch some trout. I've been using some live shrimp and some voodoo shrimp, and pulling those along a little bit. And
I like that.
So far, I've been getting skunked.
Well,
so, I'll keep at it.
I'll see if I can't cure that.
Yeah,
I know where you can do that close to his house.
But that's the proper order of things. You shouldn't be able to move down here the first year and you'll go there and catch all kind of trout. You got to get skunked a few times and work your way up. Man. You know that. That's how it is.
I do.
I'm
learning.
I'm an old coach. I tell them you got to be on the junior varsity team before you make the varsity.
That's right. That's exactly right.
But I'm glad to see you out there doing it all, and I promise you, sooner or later you're gonna find it. And one thing about a quick tip about trout, a lot of times in the wintertime when you find them, they're going to be in that one area, and you just stay there.
They'll go in these holes a lot of times where the water's a little bit warmer, a little deeper.
I wish I had time to tell a story. I don't. I took a kid one time, we caught 67, one for each county. The next day I took his dad, we caught 0 because they had moved out of that hole. I never will forget that. Great story. But, Jeremy, thank you. Good to see you again.
Thank you so much for having us. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all of y'all, and thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. Run by and get checked out.
Yeah, I got to go to St. Mark's and do a 30-footer.
You're still working.
Oh, yeah.
Have a great day. Do something good for your fellow man. God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.